Hey guys, welcome in this new video. I hope that all of you are doing great. In today's video, I want to talk about what is better between the stock market or the Forex market for a beginner trader. So let's actually get right into it. Before I start, if you are not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that so that way you are sure to not miss any new videos coming out. Alright, so what is better between the stock market and the Forex market for a beginner trader or even a normal trader, we can say. Now, just be aware that what I'm about to tell you guys is more of my opinions, even if there are facts to back that up. Of course, there are other people which will have other opinions than me, right? It's completely normal. Some people will say something else than I do, and no one has the same opinion about this, so it's normal. And so you will see that here it's basically my answer, my thoughts about this subject, and you will learn basically what I think of that. So, is it better the Forex market or the stock market for a beginner trader? Well, for me, the answer will be the Forex market. Now, of course, you guys were probably expecting that answer since this is the market that I'm trading now. But what you also need to keep in mind is that I actually started in the stock market. So I have experience in both market. I've been trading both of them. Both of them have also been profitable and pretty, successful, I guess we can say, by doing it. So it's not like, it's not like if I had crashed my account on the stock market and then make money on the Forex market, of course, I would have said that the Forex market is better. But now, since I've been, profitable on the two markets, I think that I have a pretty neutral opinion, which is why I said at the beginning that I also have facts to back up what I'm about to tell you. So basically, there are two main reasons why I think that the Forex market would be better for especially a beginner to trade rather than going into the stock market. The first reason is that you don't need a very big capital to actually get started into Forex. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to have a big capital to start in the stock market, but in Forex, what you can do is use leverage to actually have, being able to have a small amount of money in your account and then grow it over time with leverage. Now, what you need to be careful about that is not over risking, right? A lot of people get into that trap of thinking that because they have leverage, which means, by the way, that you can basically invest more money than what you have by borrowing money from the broker. That's basically the idea. So a lot of people will see, the positive side of having a high leverage, but the negative side is that you are increasing your risk. And so it's not necessarily a bad thing if you increase your risk a little bit and if you do it smartly and if you know what you're doing. But if you increase your risk too much, it becomes a problem, right? So for example, risking 5, 10, 20% of your account on one trade, well, that's crazy. It's way too much. Right? So, it's not a problem to, for example, maybe have 1%, 2% risk per trade, but you don't want to go to, the 5, 10, 20% because you just have to lose a few trades in a row, which is likely to happen, especially at the beginning, and you will basically have no money left in your account, right? So, the risk in itself is not what is the risk in itself is not something yet negative, but if you increase it too much, it will become negative. But that it's still the first point of why I think Forex would be a better way to start than the stock market, simply because you can use leverage. And if you know how to use leverage and you use it smartly, you don't necessarily need a big capital in order to trade and make profit from that. As I said, the same situation, or at least a similar situation, could happen on the stock market, but it's a little more complex, right? And if you want to invest in the stock market, and that will bring me to my second point, which is, I believe, actually the most important one in the two that I'm talking about in this video, So that was the first point, right? The second point is that when you trade a stock, it's important to know what stock are you actually trading. What's the company about that you're trading, right? So in the stock market, you need to know a lot more about the fundamentals, especially about the company in itself, right? Like you cannot, well, as I said, it's more my opinion, but I think it's a very common sense as well when you think about it. But you cannot just like buy stocks of random companies and you don't even know what company you're buying it from. What's the company about? What are their results? Are they even making money? Are they profitable, right? Like all of these questions have to be answered before you take a trade on the stock market. So it needs a lot more research before investing, right? Before taking any trades, because you need to know about the company, the results, how long has it been going on, the person who manages the company, the price of the stock versus its value, right? There are a lot of things that you need to know in the stock market about a specific stock before that you actually take a trade. And so that's really, I think, the main difference between the Forex market and the stock market. In Forex, of course, you also need to know the basics about what you're actually trading, the currencies, and what is actually going on in the countries if you want to trade with the economic news, with the fundamentals, which is not personally something that I do. I do trade when there are news, but I don't trade directly the news. I have a different approach than most people when it comes to the news. I'll not go into that here because that's something that I cover in my training course basically. But what is important to keep in mind is that if you want to trade Forex and also want to get into the fundamentals, of course you need to know at least the basics, right? So there's also, quite a lot of things as well to know in the Forex market. But it's less complicated than to figure out everything about a company, their results, the value of the stock versus the price, all of those things. So what is important to keep in mind about this video is that the 2 points that I said, and I hope that I made it clear, but for the 2 points that I said, they're both kind of true in the two market, in the sense of like, yes, you can use leverage on the Forex market, but if you have a good capital, you can also trade the stock market pretty well. And versus if you use leverage, you are probably increasing your risk, which is something that you have to be careful of. So there's pros and there's cons for the first point, and it's the same thing for the second point, right? I said that on the stock market, you need to know a lot about the company, but on the Forex market, you also need to know about what you're trading, the currencies, and all of those things. So there's pros and cons on two markets. And it's also basically the point of this video, because as I said at the beginning, personally, I think that trading the Forex market is better. And here I just showed you guys basically the process of, my explanation and why I think so. But it's also not a bad thing to trade the stock market necessarily, right? Like at the end of the day, the market that you're trading in itself is not the big, the most important thing. What is truly important is that you actually understand what you're doing, that you know how to trade. Because in reality, if you know how to trade, you can trade on all markets and be profitable on all of them. Maybe that there will be markets for you that will work better, but you will be profitable on all markets, just as I said at the beginning, right? Like I've been profitable on the stock market and also the Forex market. So the market in itself is not what will make the difference. What matters is if you understand what you're doing, and then from that knowledge, you will be able to choose what market that you actually want to trade. And no matter which one you choose, depending on your own preference, you will still be able to be profitable. So that was really, the point of this video, to show you guys that the market in itself is not what truly matters. Of course, it still matters, right? Which is why I gave you the 2 points before, so that after you are able to decide for you which one you prefer because of what. But it's not the most important thing. As I said, it's still important, but that's not like the highest thing that you want to focus on. what truly matters is understanding what you're doing, and then you can trade any market and still be profitable. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope that it helped you. If it did, please share this video. You probably as well know other people who have those questions, who don't really know on which market to start. So if you actually know people in those situations, well, don't hesitate to send them to this video if it actually helped you. All right, so on that, thank you for watching. Take care, trade with care, manage money well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.